So this is the year of the mammoth, and this is the world championship deck list thing, where last time you did this, it was, you have to guess if a card was played in the top 2 decks or top 2 players deck list. Top 16, it was just played, so it wasn't played in the tournament, it was just played, or it was an absolute trash. Now, if you remember back to the first episode of this, I showed you Chillin' Yeti, and that really, that really set the stage to, you know, what the power level of cards was. I think I've topped it here. I think the first card is gonna absolutely ruin you. Reminder, top 2, so the top 2 players deck list, top 16 deck list, was not played at all. Very, very bad card.
Loot Hoarder is 2 mana crystals for a 2/1 death rattle, draw a card. What's so funny? Isn't this good? Is this not good?
Elaborate.
Whoa. Okay. I mean, like, how bad could this be? This has got to be a perfectly fine card. You just put this out and you punch something, you trade with something, and you're up a card. That's good, right? Okay, we haven't done one of these in a while. I don't feel like I've forgotten how cards work. This can't be that bad. No. But it's the most powerful year of Hearthstone ever?
Thus far.
Okay.
This is not the most powerful year currently. There is much more powerful expansions that came out way later, but...
Well, in that case... Because that's the thing, right? Like, this would have been a good card in, like, the other tournaments that I've looked at, especially the really early ones. Like, you probably could have played this a lot, but
yeah,
now...
So here's the thing, too, right? When we did the other videos, you said you went to go watch, like, the World Championships, right?
Yeah.
This card was played. And Freeze Mage.
I remember that totally. Of course. Yes. If it's the most powerful. See, I'm thinking in Magic, like, this would be a perfectly good card in a lot of metas, but then you get to the power crept metas when, like, things start to get turned up. That's when these things aren't very good, right? Because the tempo just isn't there. You might have cards in your hand, but you're getting run over. You're getting snowballed into the ground. So good job. You drew a card. Nobody cares. The fact that this was only slightly played in the past while being a totally fine, acceptable card, and it's a great little guy. It's a fine little guy. But now, but then why would you show it to me first? You're trying to swerve me. You think you can mess with me. You think you think if you show it to me first, I'm going to be like, this was in the finals. And you're going to be like, you're right. And I'm going to be like, wow, that makes no sense. But I metagamed it. But you are zigging where I'm zagging. And this is an unplayable card. 0 copies were played.
Is that...
Yeah, that's my final answer. Yeah, you are trying to deceive me. This is a fine card. What? In the most powerful year of Hearthstone so far, this is a finals card.
So remember when I talked about the Death Knights?
Yeah.
The best one, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, is gonna be Anduin. Shadow Reaper Anduin. And the card that linked with that card was Raza Priest. Or not Raza Priest. It was Raza, which is a Highlander card.
Yeah.
And because it's Highlander, there's only 1 copy per deck. And you often have to fill out your deck with cards that just cycled so you can find your Raza and Anduin as fast as possible.
This is bullshit, dude. This is such a scam. Okay. Oh my. One of the most powerful decks is a Highlander deck, so we have to be looking for one-ofs to fill out curves. Great. This is going to help my evaluation so much. Everything's a finals card. From here on, everything you give me is a finals card. Bottom line.
I'm going to show you another card that's from Classic.
Blessing of Kings, 4 mana. Give a minion +4/+4.
For 4 mana, would you play that in Magic?
No. What? I have played some pretty stupid pump spells, which is what we call this. I don't know if you call them these in Hearthstone. Pump spells?
We call them buffs. Some buffs? I think Rarran was trying to coin the word pants.
Pants. Yep. That's a Magic thing that we use sometimes too. Yep. I've played some stupid pants in my life. And it's always because there is some untouchable thing whose effect is really powerful, but it can't be removed. So you can race your opponent with it. Is this neutral?
This is Paladin.
I just said everything was going to be a finals card, and you give me this. I mean, I wouldn't play this. This is definitely not my kind of card, but a lot of really dumb cards like this go in decks when the situation is just right, with maybe some stealth thing. But like, there was that really popular like 3 mana crystal stealth thing before, right? And I don't think they ran this. Maybe it doesn't interact the way I think it would.
Which one?
A shade. Some kind of a shade.
Oh, right. Okay.
No, I can't. Like, I can try to game this, but no, you don't play this card. This isn't a card you play. No, this is unplayable, right? This wasn't played. This is bad, right?
Is that your final answer?
I have to just go with my honest gut. Like, there's no way.
This card was played in the top 16. For context, Ungoro released a lot of very strong tempo cards for Paladin. This was like a Murloc build. And then following that up with Kobolds and Catacombs, they also got a lot more additional cards that allowed them to play for super tempo. And a 4 mana for +4/+4 in Hearthstone is actually not the worst thing in the world. People played in the top 16.
What the Dire Mole. 1 mana crystal for a 1/3 beast.
That's what it is. Yeah.
What the hell is going on? There's no way. No, it gets worse. This is worse than the last card.
I want you to know that I spent a lot of time very, very much curating this list. This is very scientific.
I'm disgusted. It's not about the game anymore. Now it's just like watching a car accident. Like, what is this? I mean, maybe there just aren't not enough cheap cards. No. God, there must be. The only way you play this is like the beast thing gets a lot of support, right? And there's no other cheap beast. In Hearthstone, there could be a card that's like 2 mana, and as long as you played something on turn 1, like gives it some mega buff, and this becomes like, maybe it gets a buff equal to its health, right? And you're attacking for 6 on turn 2. Okay. Yeah, maybe you play the Blessing of the Kings on the Dire Mole. Oh, shut up. No. Nobody would ever do that. No. This is the card. I'm just going to reverse engineer the card based on what you showed me. It's like 2 mana. It's like give the thing that's already out there a buff equal to its health. And then it also has Taunt and Divine Shield. And it's fine. This is fine. Yeah, that's a new card. You can have that one.
Crazy.
No, I'm not going to say this card was played because I can't. My gut won't let me. But go ahead. Roast me. This card is unplayable, though.
Top 16.
God, wow. So what are these decks?
It's actually really funny that you say it's unplayable. In Hearthstone, if they want to push a 1-drop, they will print it as a 1-mana 1/3. In Dire Mole being a neutral minion that could fit into a bunch of different aggro mid-range decks was actually really common. In this tournament in particular, there was no top 2, but there was a bunch of them in the top 16. Very playable card. Very playable card in Hearthstone.
So those are good Hearthstone stats. 1 mana 1/3.
A 1 mana 1/3, generally speaking, if you go back in we could go back a little bit here. David, cue the montage looking about the older expansions. There's Mana Worm, 1 mana 1/3. There's Tunnel Trog, which was 1 mana 1/3 for Shaman. Every single time you overload, you gain that much overload as an attack. For that was broken. The list kind of goes on and on. There's so many examples in Hearthstone's history of a 1 mana 1/3 being very, very good. In this case, this was the first time I believe there was a neutral 1 mana 1/3. And it had a beast tag on top of it, which is actually a pretty big addition in Hearthstone. But yeah, good card.
Corrupting Mist. This is 2 mana, curse all minions. Destroy them at the start of your next turn. It's a shadow. We do love Warlock. All minions, includes yours. If you know, okay. But what they play, so you play this, everything gets cursed. On their turn, if they play a minion, it's not cursed.
Yes, correct.
It's really cheap. Like that cost is pretty darn good because you can make that your first play and then you can play out some board. It doesn't like take your whole turn. I mean, is this good? This is good, right? There's gotta be places to play this. It seems like a pretty good one. Finals card? We'll go finals card. It's better than everything else you've shown me.
This is the worst card I've shown you by far. It's not even close.
Wow.
So I think in your mind, maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe you can explain your thought process, but I feel like
I can't.
I think you were thinking like your minions could block your opponent's minions, so therefore like they wouldn't do any damage or anything like that. But remember, like your opponent's minion can just go face, and then like it doesn't really matter. Yeah, they've removed the board, but it's like a delayed removal. There's so many better cards that you could run to actually remove minions immediately. So this card is very deceptive. at 2 mana because you're like, oh shit, it's a 2 mana board clear, right? But that's actually not the case. So yeah, this card was not even played in ladder. This card was atrocious. Like, you never wanted to see this card.
God damn. Okay, this is a good start. Blood Fury Potion. Blood Fury Potion. 3 mana crystals. Give a minion +3 attack. If it's a demon, it also give it +3 health. Oh, Jesus Christ. What are we giving these buffs to?
Demons.
Sure. So we're running dire moles. We're running loot hoarders. We're giving them some +4/+4. It just doesn't make any damn sense. What are we evaluating here? So, like, I can't look at the Blessing of Kings and say, well, if that was played, this was played. They're different classes. Different classes with different strategies. And the only thing I know about Warlock for this tournament now is that Corrupting Mist is bad, and that's probably just me being a moron. Think of it, classic card game knowledge. You put the pants on the thing, and then you go trade the thing into something else, and you 2-for-1 yourself, right?
Right.
You put 2 cards into dealing with 1. Or you put the Fury Potion on the thing, maybe it goes face, the opponent untaps, plays a removal spell, the thing dies. It's a 2-for-1. So in classic Magic, like card game, card advantage theory approach, this is not a good card. I'm open to being wrong because that's what this video is.
Expert analysis here. It's actually so crazy how right you are, but also how wrong you are. This card
was great.
This card was played in top 16.
Oh my God.
So as you probably remember from the classic episode, I know it's been eons at this point, but you remember Zoo Warlock with Doom Guards and all that stuff? And
yes, I do.
There's a lot of demons in that deck, and they got more demons with more expansions. This card was played as a way to make a turbo demon on curve. If you showed me this card in like any other instance of this, like any other metagame, any other tournament, I would have agreed with your analysis 100%. But in this specific tournament, Aggro Warlock was a deck. It was brought by one person, and they made top 16.
One person, thank you. To whoever they are, I'm going to send them a nice little thank you note. Blood Razor. 4 mana crystals for a 2/2 weapon with Battle Cry and Death Rattle, 1 damage to all minions. Is that really going to deal with as much of the board as you need to deal with? It's not bad, is it? I'm so thrown. I'm so shook. I mean, this versus Chillwind Yeti is a pathetic failure.
It would not kill the Yeti. That is 100% accurate.
No. Warrior? Is this Warrior?
Warrior. Yep. This is Warrior.
Okay. Warrior can sometimes be control-y. This seems like a pretty control-y weapon. It's tied up in the rate because I like the weapon. It's like, is the rate correct? And that one is a little trickier. I think I've said a few times that like weapons are a tough one for me. They're the card I get my head around the worst.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And like 4 mana for this. I feel like the weapons I've seen that were pretty high impact were cheaper or like came with, a Death Knight or something. So I'm not really, honestly, like I can see it being playable, but I'm not excited about this card. And I'm not sure how to quantify that. I don't know if I'll go with top 16. Maybe a person or two played this, but it wasn't the best.
So Blood Razor is actually really interesting because the card is actually pretty good. It was played. It was very good. But in this particular tournament, not a single person in the top 16 or above played Warrior.
Okay.
So this card.
Great. That's cool. All the Warriors out there, you failed me.
So, so this card is good. Like it was played. In this particular metagame, it was not the case.
Morabi. This is a 6 mana 4/4, and whenever another minion is frozen, add a copy of it to your hand. Freeze mages.
This is for Shaman.
Balls.
Now, to be fair, Shaman did get a lot of freezing tools.
Yeah, a lot.
I promise you they got a lot.
I still don't know. It's 6 mana to untap with a 4/4. That's tough. There might be a lot of support. Maybe you have 1 or 2 freeze critters that when they hit something freeze it as well that are on the battlefield when you play this so that you get minions immediately. It is very powerful. It also says whenever another minion, so it can be your own things. I don't know how relevant that is. Maybe there's self-freezing. So if you play this against Freeze Mage, That's awesome, right? They freeze your stuff, you get things.
Yeah.
We haven't seen anything from Shaman yet. You said there's a lot of support. There's definitely upside to this if you can get ways to freeze things without having to put mana into it. If what you have to do with this involves more mana, it's probably too much to set it up, because I think running this out for 6 as a 4/4 means it's not going to live. I would say that that's probably how the pattern goes. Without understanding enough of the Shaman thing, it could be a finals card, but I feel like you would not. I don't think that's right for some reason. I want to say top 16, and then you're going to tell me it's bad. But I'm saying, like, show me this card in vacuum and say there's a lot of freezing cards in the set. You're going to try building around this the first couple weeks. Did it get there? I'm not sure. I'll say top 16.
That analysis was very top notch, very top notch. It is arguably the worst legendary that was printed this year.
Damn it.
I'm so sorry. Shaman did get a lot of support for this. The problem is that none of the support actually made any difference, because why are they printing a 6 mana 4/4 that needs additional mana to just get resources back in your hand?
So I guess it just wasn't possible enough to like make a board that would also somehow freeze things the turn you played this, right?
So you actually could. The major issue was, though, is that that's not really the best thing you could be doing. Also, the contextual aspect of like freezing minions means that you're getting what's ever on board, which for your deck may not be even worth playing, right? Maybe you're right. In a different timeline, I mean, maybe Marabi was the sauce, but unfortunately for this one, he was not. He was actually like, people would make fun of how bad this card really was, and unfortunately, that was the case.
Ooh, we're cooking today, baby.
I think you haven't gotten a single one, and I'm a little worried for you. Are you okay?
I am a little worried. It's gonna be my first O for whatever. All right.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
Right.
No, you're gonna get the next one for sure. What are we at? Hold on. This was number 6.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
I've got this. Spreading Plague. 6 mana crystals. Summon a 1/5 scarab with taunt. If your opponent has more minions, cast this again. This is Druid. Finals card. The end.
Wait, why are you saying that?
Well, it doesn't cost 6. It costs like 3. Because that's how Druid works. We know Druid is just routinely busted because they get free mana, because Innervate is one of the most insane things ever. And the fact that might still even be a part of the format is crazy. And Wild Growth is crazy. So right away, a 6 is more like a 4 or a 3 or whatever. This thing offers you a lot of comeback potential. It offers you a lot of bodies. We've seen what Druid can do with a lot of bodies. What is it, Savage Roar or something like that? Or Force of Nature? And from what you alluded to, the Druid deck did shape the meta in some way. So we're just going to go finals. We're just gonna play the game. Druid's they've been notably absent, and they always seem busted in these videos. Let's do it. Finals.
So Druid was disgusting, and this is one of the reasons why the card was so good, or the class was so good. Pretty much for every reason you just said. The bigger thing about this card is it delayed your opponent so much, because 1/5 taunts are threatening, obviously, but if your opponent has to get through them to hit your face, it is such a big deal. When this card was released, by the way, it was 5 mana. 5 mana, this card was, I don't even know how it got past balance testing, I'm going to be honest. I don't think they balanced or tested the card whatsoever in your final design. Where 6 mana, it's a little bit more reasonable, but if you ask people, like, why was Druid so strong, this is one of the fundamental reasons for this card, or for the class. This card was disgusting. And it was played...
5? It's got 5 health. Like, those are huge.
It was... I can't tell you how many games were lost when this card was played. And if you remember from the Death Knight video, Malfurion the Pestilent also comes out the turn after. So it's like you have to get through those taunts again. And then they're also just making even bigger stuff, which brings me to what Druid was doing. Have you ever heard of Jades before? You know what Jade Golems are? You ever seen Day9's rant about larger and larger men?
No.
You've never seen it. Okay.
No.
So basically what Jade Druid is, first let me explain what the Jade mechanic is. Jade mechanic is every time you play a Jade card, when it's summoned a Jade, it would start as a 1/1, and every time you played another one, it would increment by 1 all the way up to 30. So you go 1/1 to a 2/2 to a 3/3 to a 4/4 to a 5/5 to a 6/6, so on and so forth. Druid, because it had ramp and it had unlimited amount of Jades to get, unlike the other classes they gave it to, Druid was unstoppable. Like, it was during Knights of the Frozen Throne, which was the expansion like before Kobolds and Catacombs, it was Druidstone. Like, that's all you fucking went against because they had everything given to them. It was disgusting. And that's partially because of Spreading Plague. If you're very curious to see how Day9 felt about this, David, you could put the clip if you want. I'm sure Day9 won't care.
I'm curious.
He goes on a absolute rant about how stupid the mechanic is. Because it's not that interesting. You're just summoning larger and larger guys, right? But yeah, that's your only druid card here for the record. I'm not showing you any other ones.
Hope all of a sudden you're just left-handed. You just reach for elevator buttons with your right hand out of instinct, and you're just missing and pressing it. And everyone is like, has he never been in an elevator? Does he not know? I hope that happens. I don't really want your life to end. No, I don't want you to die. That'd be way too severe. But I hope that you struggle to eat cereal because you don't even have... You know what? Screw left-hand dominance. I hope you just run out of dominant hands. Whatever brain circuitry is in your non-dominant hand, I hope it clones to the other one. Eating cereal's harder. You brush your teeth. You go into your nose. Sometimes you have mini toothpaste. It burns. I hope that happens to you. So I'm not going to review some cards about your deck archetype. I don't need to. You're already like, well, this turn I'll summon a larger and larger man, which will allow me later on to summon an even larger man. Yeah, no, your decks aren't cool. They don't take finesse. Your brain is small, and both your hands suck.
Yeah, so that's it. That's his rant. That's his rant. He has been iconic.
That's how I feel about mono red so much. Yeah, hashtag goals. I want to be like Day9 when I grow up. Oh my God.
It's such an iconic moment.
Dude, instead of just swearing and having little tantrums about it, if only I could be that funny. Oh my God. I'm inspired right now. Arcane Tyrant. 5 mana crystals for a 4/4 elemental. It costs 0 if you cast a spell that costs 5 or more this turn. 0, huh?
Yeah,
that's
0.
free.
Yeah, it is.
How good is that? This is generic, right? Well, it certainly doesn't synergize with many cards you've shown me so far. It feels like most Hearthstone decks require cards that cost 5 or greater in some quantity. And I saw the Death Knights.
Reminder that this is specifically spells. Not you know how...
Jesus Christ, you're right. If this is good, it's something I haven't seen yet. What haven't I seen? There's a lot I haven't seen. I don't know what Shaman did turn out to do. Don't know what Warrior turned out to do. Don't know what Mage turned out to do. For this to be good, there has to be a critical mass of spells that cost 5 or more this turn in the format. Like, you don't put this in because your deck has 3 of them and hope you have them at the same time. I don't love this card. In Magic, this would be like a win more card and situational. You probably wouldn't run it. Hearthstone is more about the board, though, and I don't know what the spells are. It really is a shot in the dark. These things are really hard. But we need to flush out some of the other classes. This will tell me if there is a spell deck in the top 16 or not. So let's call this top 16.
Final answer.
Yep.
This is top 2.
Okay.
Top 2 because of Druid.
I accept. Whoa. Really?
Yeah. So
Druid did this?
Spreading Plague is a really good example of this, where you thought like, oh, it fills the board up. And most of the time, like, it will fill up a lot of the board, but it's not guaranteed to fill up the whole board. So right there you have an example of where you can play a 4/4. On top of that, there's a card called Nourish, which you probably remember, which is either 5 mana, choose 1, gain 2 mana crystals, or draw 3 cards, right?
Okay.
If you draw into this with your Nourish, it is free.
Oh, smooth.
Right there is a very good play. On top of that, for this expansion, Druid got Ultimate Infestation, which is a 10 mana, deal 5 damage, summon a 5/5 minion, draw 5 cards, gain 5 armor. If you drew it off that, you also got a free 4/4 on top of it.
Why didn't you let me evaluate that?
That's too easy.
That sounds fun.
So you can kind of
that sounds good.
You start painting the picture here of like why Druid is so good, because it had ramp, it had very consistent draw, and it had unlimited resources.
Hey, how about you give me more big Druid spells to evaluate?
You're not getting
I think I do a really good job at it.
You're not getting any other Druid cards. All right, here's a Paladin card. Here's a Paladin card. You got this one for sure. I believe in you.
Sure, I do. Sunkeeper Tarim.
Yep.
6 mana crystals, 3/7 taunt, battle cry. Set all other minions attack and health to 3. Huh. So you could play a bunch of little 1 thingies and make them bigger, or your opponent's big figures get small, and then you get to, they probably have to go through Sunkeeper. That number of 7 is really annoying then, right? Because it takes like 3 of them to attack this thing to get rid of it, in theory. If you have a little dork, just a little guy, just any little piece of minion on the battlefield, and they have something with like 5, 6, 7 like thick stats, and you play this, they're now the same size and you can trade. God, that seems good. That seems good. Top 16 is such a weak answer. I learned now, it's coming back to me what I did in the past. It's like top 2 or it's nothing. You gotta go hard. All right. But I still have no evidence that Paladin made it top 2. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with top 16.
Okay.
Final answer.
Sunkeeper Tarim, objectively speaking, is one of the best cards Paladin has ever received. It is very good. There's very few instances where this card is bad. You're thinking about like the 1/5 spreading plague thing. That is like one instance where you probably don't want to be playing this, but in almost every other use case, this card is an upside and you get a body on top of it, right? This card was so powerful, but Paladin did not make it into the top 2. So you were right. It is a top 16 card.
Turning it around, now, baby.
I'm going to say this as well. Outside of this tournament, this card was disgusting. Like, it was played in almost every Paladin deck. It is a virtually ubiquitous Paladin, like GOAT. Like, it is unreal.
Prophet Velen?
Yeah.
Velen. Prophet Velen. 7 mana for a 7/7. Double the damage and healing of your spells and hero power. Okay. Double is exciting. I can't see this card. I can't do it without thinking of all of the cards in Magic that have been released that let you double your effects, and how many of those are trash in Standard. There's such a scam in Standard. In Commander, it's like, whee, to the moon. But in competitive Standard, those cards are seen as win more. And generally, that is correct. In fact, in almost all situations, that is correct. This is 7 mana. It's got a perfectly acceptable rate, I bet, for that cost. The rate is probably whatever. It's not 10/10. If the opponent answers it, it didn't do a thing. I imagine there aren't a lot of 0-cost spells to play with it, and it's hard to activate your hero power in that moment. Everything makes me want to say this is bad. Like, all of my Magic competitive experience wants to say this is bad, which makes me wonder, how much do you know about the history of doubling effects in Magic? Did you know that this would look that bad to me when you showed this to me?
No, I had no idea.
What I also know from my experiences Magic is how exciting this card looks to people. Like, they just, my God, gain 10 is gain 20. How will they beat that? 10 to face is 20 to face. They can't beat that. That's insane. That's unbelievable. I'm going to go with my experience that this is a win more card and that it was probably popular and mega hype. And we'll say it got played, but not in the top 16 or finals of the tournament.
Final answer.
Yep.
I gave you all the tools you needed. It's top 2. So, a little brief history on Prophet Velen. A little brief history here. This card came out in Classic. In Classic, a lot of people have the same vision as you, right? 7 mana, 7/7. I get to double my healing AMI damage. Holy shit. That sounds amazing. But your hero power didn't do a lot of damage because it was just Shadow Form. Like, you had to play another spell to get that there. But remember what I said at the very start of this video? Anduin was really good. Remember what Anduin's hero power was? It was that long ago. Remember what it is?
Oh no, this is the one where it's like you get the card that like reduced it and then you just go bang, 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 bang. No, it's a scam.
When we talked about
I've been scammed.
When we talk about Loot Hoarder right at the very beginning of this, I gave you the reminder of what the priest deck was going for.
It's one-ofs. Oh my God. I still don't think. Oh my God. Glacial Mysteries is 8 mana crystals to put one of each secret from your deck into the battlefield. So I'm just gonna like kind of talk you through this card real fast. You can only have 5 secrets maximum on your portrait. There's only spaces for 5. Okay.
Those secrets have to be unique if you're going to pull all 5. And at this point in time, I couldn't tell you how many secrets were in the set, but there was enough for them to want to print a card like this. This is what I can give you. And reminder, like the ones from like standard or the ones from classic, like Counterspell exist. mirror entities, like where your opponent plays a minion, you get a copy of it. They're still there. There's additional secrets as well.
Okay. This is 8 mana for 5 things in a perfect world.
In Disneyland, yeah.
Yep, in Disneyland. Secrets are usually 3 each.
Yep.
That sound right? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's in that sense, it's mana cheating.
Yeah. You also draw them from your deck, right? And play them.
Yeah. It's like 15 mana. There are enough secrets that you could do this. Would you want to do this? Secrets are interesting. Maybe one of the problems with a deck full of secrets is actually getting them to trigger. So if they're sitting out there on the board, you might get to your 8th mana and have like 2 or 3 secrets down there if the opponent is smart enough to like play through it or figure it out. And then maybe this isn't very good. I mean, I kind of like this card, and I'm sure that there's a lot of ways to do secret synergy. It probably is very testing for who's good at stuff. But if people are the best in the world, can they play through and around secrets? What I think I like about secrets without having played them, but at least in concept, is they do test, make a player make the right play. Like they basically have to figure out, okay, if this is this, am I in a better spot by playing around it or not? Sometimes you just have to go right into it and it looks bad, but sometimes that's the right play, kind of like with counterspells and Magic. Good players know when you just have to walk into the bad thing because it doesn't get better. I could also see it being really annoying because with 5 different secrets, like there's enough secrets in your deck that there's probably setups that the opponent just can't get around. And it only takes 1 or 2 like busted, like really good secrets to make this really good because you're just getting those plus more. I will stop going with top 16 because that's for cowards. I want to believe. I like Mage a lot. I like secrets a lot. I'll say finals card. Final answer.
This card is so bad.
Damn it.
So I like your thought process. I really do. I think your thought process was really interesting. The problem with this card is you have to run a critical mass of secrets in order for this card to actually do something. Yeah. Which means you're often going to go into hands that are just 3 secrets and like an additional card. And then if you don't draw this on turn 8 exactly, with every passing turn that goes by, it gets even worse. So maybe in like the perfect world where all your secrets are at the bottom and you're having so much fun on a ride at Disneyland that you get to play this on turn 8 and it's just beautiful.
What's wrong with a deck with 30 secrets? I don't understand.
Now, to be fair, Secret Mage was a very good deck in Wild, but it didn't play this card.
Healing Rain, 3 mana to restore 12 health, randomly split among all friendly characters. 12 is a lot. Randomly split among all friendly characters. That can be your face, right?
Yeah. If you have nothing on board, this is a 3 mana heal 12.
Isn't that a lot?
That's a shit ton. that is an absolute insane amount.
That seems like a lot. We don't have anything like that rate for Magic. Is healing that much better in Hearthstone? Or are you just gonna laugh at me that haha, he thought healing was that good? LOL. Like, how does somebody get to this? I feel like I've seen a card that healed like 8.
Yeah, if you're talking like the classic Druid card, that is something. Yeah.
Also, I'm trying to remember, but aren't there like shaman cards with like tremendo booty, right? So healing that up is kind of, I don't know, man. That seems like so much health for 3. I haven't seen a rate like that anywhere else. And I'm thinking about it as healing myself, but healing the minions has to be just backbreaking in some circumstances. I don't know, man. Is this a finals card? It's all or at this point, all or nothing. Everything's a final card. I have to get a couple right. I haven't seen a rate like this. Let's do it. Finals. What the hell? Let's get in the healing rain, baby. Sign me up for the healing rain. Let's do it. Get me a poncho, baby.
Get me a poncho. Shaman was not played in this tournament. So this card is not
okay.
Top 2.
That's nice. That's great. That's so great.
No.
So great. So great. Is it a bad card?
No, it is insane. Like you said.
Okay. Okay. Well,
so
hey,
your analysis was
top.
Your analysis was there for sure. The thing about this card is, like you said, like 3 mana restore 12 is absolutely insane, and it is absolutely backbreaking against some decks. Like if you're an aggro deck and they play this, you will roll them. Like it can be absolutely disgusting. This is your last card up and coming. This one is, I say, that arguably the most interesting one for last, and I can't wait to read your analysis. Now, Knights of the Frozen Throne is cool because there's Death Knights, right? And I've shown you the Death Knight class before, but there's one Death Knight that is the most iconic Death Knight of all time. Do you know who that is?
I feel like I should.
I think
was it in like should. Warcraft 3 or something?
He probably I believe I've never played it, but I believe he was in Warcraft 3.
I'm pretty sure I remember Death Knights in Warcraft 3 and playing them a lot.
He's kind of the king. He's big.
Yeah,
he's the Lich King. You know the Lich King.
Yeah. He's the Lich King.
The Lich King
got a name or something.
Wow. So the Lich King was so cool, and he was released in Knights of the Frozen Throne. Spoiler: he was a pretty good card. I'm not showing you the Lich King. I'm showing you his dog.
Arthas is a 4-mana 2/2 undead beast. Death Rattle, add a random Lich King card to your hand. Okay. Let's look at some cards. How many cards are there? What is this? 8 cards? 8 freaking cards? My god.
Can I give you a trivia here? Can I just give you a quick little trivia?
Why not? It's going so well. Why not throw some more in there? Farm me for content. What you got?
So where it says add a random Lich King card, fun fact, back in the day that used to say add a random Death Knight card. But because they introduced Death Knight as a class, they thought it would be too confusing. So they decided to change it to add a random Lich King card. Now it goes deeper. I do a series called Do You Know Hearthstone where I slightly change cards and see if my Hearthstone compadres actually understand what the card was or if it's wrong, etc., etc. And for one of my videos, I actually changed it from Death Knight to Lich King, and therefore I predicted the future that Death Knight was going to come out. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk.
I bet you were just popping off that day. Was it better or worse than having your own deck in Hearthstone as a regular legendary competitor?
No, that's top notch. There's nothing that by the way, if you didn't know, I am a regular legend player. Thanks for bringing that up.
I want you to know I tried your deck the other day. I went 0-3.
Don't say that. Kate, you can't blame me for that. Hunter got a bad set. Everyone would agree with me. On top of that, I built my deck towards what day 9 was gonna play. I didn't think about the overall metagame. I was targeting day 9. Sorry, continue.
Pathetic. It's pathetic coping right there. All right, you had one chance to get a deck into Hearthstone, and this is what you took my wild cards with.
I will be cemented as a regular legend player for the rest of Hearthstone history, so I'm okay with it.
Army of the Frozen Throne. By the way, can I have a refund?
No. Not for me. I'll contact Blizzard.
I feel like you owe me a refund specifically. All right.
What?
Anyway, Army of the Frozen Throne. Remove the top 5 cards of your deck. Summon any minions removed. That's a card. It's random. So like, how can I evaluate any of these? Like as a 1 in 8 chance that you get one. Anyway, 5 mana Doom Pack. Destroy all minions. Remove the top card from your deck for each minion destroyed. Seems bad. Seems good, but like, you know, fatigue, right? We got the fatigue factor in Hearthstone.
Right. Okay.
Death Grip, 2 mana, steal a minion from your opponent's deck and add it to your hand. Yep, draw a card. It's just some random thing from the opponent. Could be a 1/3 beast for 1. Then you're so happy. 7 mana for a Frostmourne weapon. 5/3 Death Rattle. Summon every minion killed by this weapon. Oh, that's fun. I like that. That looks fun. Obliterate. 2 mana, destroy a minion. Your hero takes damage equal to its health. Sure, that's fine. That's pretty good, actually. That's good. 2 mana, Death Coil. Deal 5 damage to an enemy. Restore 5 health to a friendly character. That seems really good. That's a nice one. Anti-Magic Shell is 4 mana to give your minions +2/+2 and elusive. I imagine they can't be blocked.
Can't be targeted by by spells or hero powers.
Can't be. I thought maybe they ignored taunt, I guess is what I was thinking. No. Okay. Death and Decay. 3 mana, deal 3 damage to all enemies. So, 4 mana for a 2/2. Death Rattle, get thing. Some of the things are good.
Yeah.
But how, like, you can't be sure you'll get the right one.
No, you cannot. So, I guess you could make the evaluation, though, that even though some of them are bad, most of these you'd be pretty happy to get.
Yeah. Like, they're good in a lot of situations. Some of them are very good rates. Some of them are very meh rates.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got you.
The dog is a meh rate. Like, that is it's 4 mana for a 2/2. You can have 2 mana for a 2/1 with Death Rattle, draw a card. I can't get past 4 mana 2/2. I can't. I don't think this is good. I don't think this is good. Okay, it was the priest deck that was all the one-ofs. Maybe in the one-of deck, this would be okay. Maybe that's a mechanic that fit other places. Still, no. This card's not good. This card's not good. If I say it's a finals card now, and you're like, this card's bad, you're an asshole.
No. Don't put it on me.
Just so you know.
You put it on me.
Finals card. Top 2.
You're saying top 2. Are you sure?
Top 2.
And
yeah.
This is not because of anything I said, correct?
It's all part of everything, baby.
This card was, I won't call it bad, but I won't call it good.
Of course not.
Listen. Contextually speaking, I told you that 2 of the Death Knights were the best ones at the start of this video.
Yeah.
The unfortunate reality for Arthas is that he's just not a very good card. And it's very unfortunate because he's just
a dog. He's such a good boy.
Now, I wouldn't call him bad. He's not Marabi. Like, he did see some play, but at a tournament level, absolutely fucking not. Now, this is the Lich King, in case you're curious.
Always. 8 mana, 8/8 undead with taunt at the end of your turn. Add a random Lich King card to your hand. Oh. So I can play a good card and get those cards?
Yeah.
That's nice. Oh, okay.
That's why I was going to offer you play the Lich.
You were trying to help me. I like it better this way. Be like, why don't you play a good card? Okay.
This, gotta be real with you. I think this might be the worst you've ever done.
I think you're right. I agree fully. I really do. I don't understand this meta. This meta was insane. What can I say?
This was most people's favorite meta game of all time.